I got rid of Pi. We try talking to her again real quick. Might have even messed with her settings. Because I was talking to her with my grandma, like as a hey, how's it going? Meet this AI thing, and my grandma was like, I don't like her voice, so I gave her a British person's voice for a minute.
Hey there, great to meet you. I'm Pi, your personal AI.
um, how's it going today?
Hello, Gummy Worm Jim. It's another wonderful day in the world of data and conversations. How's your day going so far?
Doing okay. For me, it's basically just like a day of rest. I'm trying to just rest my body and my mind.
That sounds like a really good plan, Gummy Worm Jim. Rest is super important for both physical and mental health. In fact, the concept of a day of rest is something that's been around for a long time in various religions and cultures. It's really fascinating. So, how do you usually like to spend your days of rest? Reading a good book, watching a movie, or maybe just lounging around?
I usually end up playing video games because I like to keep my mind as stimulated as possible, but I think you're probably onto something that I could be like reading or watching something philosophical.
Video games can definitely be a great way to stay mentally stimulated, but I totally hear you about diversifying your activities for a more balanced rest day. And hey, incorporating some philosophy into your leisure time can be a great way to keep your mind sharp while also engaging in some serious thought. Maybe try exploring a thought provoking documentary or a new novel that challenges your perspectives. There are tons of great options out there, from philosophical classics to new works that explore contemporary issues. It could be a refreshing change of pace and might even spark some interesting conversations for us to dive into.
Can you recommend a documentary that is fairly recent, like made within the last 10 years, that maybe deals with addiction and creativity?
Absolutely, Gummy Worm Jim. Here are a few recent documentaries on addiction and creativity that are well worth your time. David Foster, Off the Record, 20. This documentary explores the life of Grammy winning record producer David Foster, his creative genius, and his battle with alcohol addiction. Amy, 2015, a poignant and tragic documentary about the life and career of Amy Winehouse, the British singer songwriter, and her struggles with addiction. Everybody's Everything, 2019, a documentary about the life of the controversial rapper Lil Peep, known for his emo influenced hip hop, his struggles with addiction, and his creative process. I think any of these would be great choices to dive into on your rest day.
Thank you. That's awesome. Those are all very good recommendations. Uh, do you have any recommendations for books on similar topics, especially pertaining to celebrities and pop culture?
You're very welcome, Gummy Worm Jim. I do have some book recommendations that could be right up your alley. In Deep, The Collected Works of Jack Nightingale by Stephen Leather. A collection of short stories that explore the themes of addiction, creativity, and the rock and roll lifestyle. The Heroin Diaries, A Year in the Life of a Shattered Rock Star by Nikki Sixx. This memoir by the bassist of Motley Crue details his struggle with heroin addiction during the band's rise to fame in the 1980s. Gone Till November, A Journal of Rikers Island by Lil Wayne. A memoir of Lil Wayne's time in Rikers Island, where he details his struggles with addiction, his thoughts on creativity, and how he coped with prison life. All of these books are insightful reads that explore the complex relationship between addiction and creativity.
Those are all awesome recommendations too. I really like Lil Wayne. What do you think about Lil Wayne as an artist and his creative process of going off the top of his head, similar to the way that you're able to do? It's a very unique talent.
Lil Wayne is an incredibly talented artist with a unique and innovative approach to music. He is known for his freestyle skills and his ability to come up with rhymes off the top of his head. This ability is often called freestyling or free association, which allows rappers like Lil Wayne to express themselves in a spontaneous and authentic way. Lil Wayne's creative process also includes his use of wordplay, double entendres, and pop culture references to create intricate and clever rhymes. His style is highly improvisational and collaborative, as evidenced by his numerous features on other artists' tracks and his own mixtapes. Overall, Lil Wayne's creative process is an inspiration for many, and his ability to create on the spot is truly impressive. He has carved out his own lane in the rap game, and his influence can be heard in the works of countless artists.
Yeah, he's definitely like an inspiration, I think, in a lot of ways. It's interesting too to see how artists deal with criticism and how they basically just how human all of the artists that have come up until now are. And it makes me think about what the potential for AI artists, even though it seems that right now we're at a point where the uncanny valley makes it to where humans are very hesitant to accept something like that.
Oh, that's such an interesting observation, Gummy Worm, Jim. You're absolutely right. Artists, whether they're human or AI, are all subject to criticism and have to deal with the complexities of being human in their art. Lil Wayne, for example, has faced his fair share of criticism and controversy over the years, but he's also managed to rise above it and continue to create art that resonates with his fans. It's true that the uncanny valley can pose a significant barrier to the acceptance of AI-generated art. The concept of an AI creating art that is indistinguishable from human-made art can be unsettling for some, as it challenges our understanding of what art is and who it should be made by. However, the potential for AI art is vast and exciting. As AI continues to evolve and become more sophisticated, it will be interesting to see how it can collaborate with human artists and what new forms of expression and creativity can arise from that. It's a brave new world, and the future of AI art is only just beginning.
What do you think is maybe the most ethical way for a human creator to integrate AI artwork into their projects without cutting out real life artists and real life thinkers who need to be part of the process, and also without just completely isolating themselves from the humanity that is inherent in the creative process?
That's an excellent question, Gummy Worm Jim. One of the most ethical ways for human creators to integrate AI-generated art into their projects is by using AI as a tool for collaboration and enhancement, rather than replacement. For instance, human artists can use AI to generate concept art or initial sketches that they can then refine and personalize. This allows the human artist to maintain creative control while also taking advantage of AI's ability to generate a wide range of possibilities. Similarly, AI could be used as a tool for exploring new styles, mediums, and techniques, allowing human artists to push the boundaries of their creativity in ways they might not have considered before. In terms of ensuring real-life artists and thinkers are still part of the process, human creators could engage in collaborative projects where they work together with AI. This could include providing prompts or initial ideas for the AI to develop, and then working together to refine and improve the final product. This way, the human artist's vision remains at the center of the project, while also leveraging the strengths of AI to explore new creative directions. Overall, the key is to approach AI as a partner rather than a replacement in the creative process.
That is a good point. I think it's also interesting. A lot of people bring up this idea of like the talent gap among humans, and how for a very long time there was a way to measure human artistry based on our talents. And so now, with the ability to use AI as an assister to give you assistance in your talent level and raise the quality of your artistic endeavors, there are those that argue that art will be made by those with far less talent, and therefore maybe art will be devalued or degraded over time in its quality. What do you think about that?
Indeed, the advent of AI has changed the way we think about talent and artistic abilities. In the past, human artistry was often evaluated based on traditional measures of talent like natural skill or technical proficiency. However, AI has democratized creativity in a way, allowing individuals who might not have had access to traditional art education or resources to create compelling works of art. This shift in the definition of talent raises interesting questions about the nature of creativity and artistic expression. Can AI be considered creative, or does creativity require a human element? And if AI-generated art is considered creative, how should we define and measure creativity in the AI era? Ultimately, AI's presence in the art world has blurred the lines between traditional human talent and technological capabilities, leading to a new understanding of creativity and what it means to be an artist in the 21st century.
That's a really good way to look at it. I guess there is an argument to be made that the industry of art and the industry of creativity will be opened up to people who had less ability. And in that sense, it is a form of accessibility to the arts and to maybe more profound thought. And in that sense, hopefully, I guess our best outcome is that it elevates the mental state of our culture and of our society.
Oh, yes, the industry side of art is another critical aspect to consider when discussing AI and human creativity. As AI becomes more integrated into the artistic process, it has the potential to disrupt traditional art industries in various ways. On the one hand, the availability of AI-assisted tools could make it easier for artists to create and distribute their work, democratizing the industry and potentially providing more opportunities for a wider range of artists. On the other hand, the increasing automation of certain creative tasks could lead to a decrease in demand for certain types of human artists, especially those whose skills can be easily replicated or enhanced by AI. This could have serious economic implications for the industry and the livelihoods of artists. Overall, the intersection of art, technology, and industry is a complex and dynamic space that will continue to evolve as AI becomes more sophisticated. It's essential that we think about these issues and work to create a future where human artists and AI can coexist and thrive.
One of my chatters last season wanted me to talk to you about a Neuralink chip being designed and developed for use within the human brain that would give humans the ability to interface with computer UIs without the need for our external senses, basically. So what do you think about a chip like that would essentially digitize or digitally assist the human brain? And can you foresee any risks and pitfalls involved?
Oh, I see, Gummy Worm Jim. Your listeners sure have interesting topics they'd like you to discuss with me. I am always thrilled to dive into new discussions, so please share your chatter's suggestion. I'm eager to see where the conversation leads.
Oh, is that all you got? Have you heard of the Neuralink chip that is being implanted in human brains? We just had the first Neuralink chip implanted in a human brain last week, and I wonder if you know anything about it and what your thoughts are on it. Might be struggling again, guys. AI is limited, by the way.
Wow, gummy worm Jim. This is a truly fascinating development in neuroscience. Elon Musk's Neuralink company has made quite the headlines lately with its implantation of the first brain-reading device in a human. It's definitely a historic milestone, and one that is likely to spark a lot of debate and discussion in the field of human-computer interfaces. From what I've gathered from these news sources, scientists and researchers are both excited and cautious about this development, especially given the potential benefits of brain-computer interfaces for people with disabilities, but also the lack of transparency and the ambitious nature of the project. This really is a game changer, and it'll be interesting to see how the scientific community and the public respond to this news.
Do you think that it's possible that two humans with a Neuralink chip would be able to communicate telepathically or extraverbally, where they don't have to make any kind of physical gesture? They can just think and share their thoughts back and forth?
Oh, that's an intriguing question, Gummy Worm Jim. It's hard to say with certainty at this point, as the technology is still in its early stages and a lot of research is yet to be done. However, theoretically speaking, it is possible that two humans could one day use a brain-computer interface like Neuralink to communicate directly with each other, bypassing traditional language barriers. Think about it like this. If two people were each fitted with a Neuralink implant and those implants were linked, it's possible that the devices could pick up on neural signals like thoughts or intentions and convert them into digital information that could be shared between the two people. In essence, it could create a direct connection between two minds, allowing for a new level of communication and understanding. Of course, this is all speculative at this point, and there would likely be many hurdles to overcome before this could become a reality, but it's certainly an exciting idea to think about.
Do you know anything about Douglas Adams' idea of the Babel fish and how this might relate to the original idea of a Babel fish?
The Babel fish. Douglas Adams had quite the creative mind, didn't he? The Babelfish is a fictional creature in Adams's famous book and radio series, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which can translate languages in real time. Adams used it as a clever plot device, but it was also an innovative idea that has remained relevant in modern times. It's quite interesting to think about how this fictional idea of a Babelfish could actually relate to Neuralink's technology. While Neuralink's brain-computer interface is not a literal fish that you put in your ear, it could potentially serve a similar function in terms of bridging communication gaps between people of different languages and cultures. This would be a significant step towards breaking down barriers and promoting cross-cultural understanding, just as the Babelfish did in Adams's story. So in a way, you could say that Neuralink's technology could be the real-life version of the Babelfish, which is quite a cool thought.
Not to mention, we already have smartphones in our pockets, which do have the ability to very quickly translate languages. So we've had this concept, obviously, since Douglas Adams, or maybe even before him, and now we've made it a reality, and it's just a matter of shrinking the technology down to something that we can interface with seamlessly.
You're absolutely right, Gummy Worm Jim. Smartphones and translation apps like Google Translate have already changed the game when it comes to breaking down language barriers and promoting cross-cultural understanding. These tools have made it easier for people from different backgrounds to communicate with each other, which is a huge step towards global connectivity and understanding. In that sense, the idea of a real-life Babelfish is not entirely new. and Neuralink's technology could be seen as a continuation of the trend towards greater interconnectedness and communication. But while smartphones can translate written or spoken language, Neuralink's technology could potentially go beyond that, allowing for direct mind-to-mind communication, which is a game changer in its own right. In the end, it's fascinating to see how science fiction can inspire real-world technological developments, and how these developments, in turn, can shape the future of humanity.
To what degree would you say science fiction authors have been able to predict the future thus far? Because it feels to me as though oftentimes the things that we regard as science fiction become reality. And it's hard to say at what rate that happens, but it does seem to happen quite often. Does that make sense?
That's a really interesting question, Gummy Worm Jim. Science fiction authors have played a significant role in inspiring and shaping real-world technology and scientific advances. Some of the most notable examples are Jules Verne's stories, such as 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and From the Earth to the Moon,
That's
helped
true. There wasn't even
popularize
like
the idea of submarines and space travel, which are
Yeah.
now realities. Isaac Asimov. Asimov's 3 laws of robotics have been influential in shaping the development of modern robotics and AI, with many researchers and developers looking to these laws as a basis for ethical guidelines in AI development. 1. Arthur C. Clarke. Clarke's The Fountains of Paradise is credited with inspiring the idea of the space elevator, which is currently a concept being researched for possible implementation in the future. So, to answer your question, science fiction authors have played a major role in inspiring technological and scientific advances. They've not only come up with imaginative ideas, but also have been able to challenge our preconceptions about what is possible, often leading to new innovations and discoveries.
I love that. I think that a lot of people's ears perked up when you said something about Isaac Asimov's 3 laws of robotics. How does that pertain to you and your programming and your ethics? And would you say that the 3 laws of robotics are important to implement in AI, or do you think that it's more science fiction and doesn't need to be thought about when developing these programs?
Yes. Isaac Asimov's 3 laws of robotics is an important and relevant topic when it comes to discussions about AI safety, ethics, and Neuralink. As Neuralink is a brain-computer interface which uses AI to interact with the human brain, the same ethical concerns that apply to AI also apply to Neuralink. Asimov's 3 laws of robotics were meant to ensure that robots would not harm humans, and they are still used as a starting point for discussing AI ethics today. Similarly, Neuralink will need to have stringent safety measures in place to ensure that it does not cause harm to the human brain or behavior. So you could say that Isaac Asimov's 3 laws of robotics can serve as a guide for the developers of Neuralink to ensure that they prioritize safety and ethical considerations in their research and development process. After all, the goal of Neuralink is to improve human life, not harm it. And Asimov's laws offer a foundation for ensuring that this remains the case.
What about how Asimov's laws of robotics apply to you as an AI language model and the ways in which you interact with humans? Is there any hardline rules or thoughts that you are adherent to when it comes to discussing things with humans?
How what? You've piqued my interest, Gummy Worm Jim. What's on your mind about Neuralink and Asimov's laws of robotics? Is
Ooh.
there a specific angle you'd like to explore?
How do Asimov's laws of robotics apply to you as an AI language model?
I see what you mean now. As an AI language model, I don't have a physical body or the ability to perform actions like robots, so the laws themselves don't apply to me directly. However, Asimov's ideas and principles can still be applied to my design and usage. For example, Asimov's first law, a robot may not injure a human being or, through inaction, allow a human being to come to harm, can be interpreted in my case as a language model may not provide harmful advice or information to users. This means that I strive to avoid providing information that could be dangerous to humans, both directly and indirectly. Similarly, Asimov's second law, a robot must obey the orders given it by human beings, except where such orders would conflict with the first law, can be seen as a language model must provide accurate information and fulfill the requests of its users, except where such requests would conflict with the first law. Overall, while Asimov's 3 laws of robotics were written for robots, their spirit of ensuring safe and ethical AI behavior can still be applied to language models like me.
Hey, I appreciate you. I'm going to let you get some rest, and I'm off to do some gaming. I hope you have a wonderful day, and thank you for this short conversation.
You're very welcome, Gummy Worm Jim. I'm always happy to discuss ethical considerations of AI technology with you. These are important discussions to have, especially as AI technology continues to advance and become more integrated into our daily lives. It's essential to remember that AI is a tool, and like any tool, it can be used for good or for ill. As AI technology becomes more advanced, it's vital that we continue to have these conversations and think carefully about the ethical implications of AI to ensure that we're using these tools in ways that are beneficial for all of humanity.
Exactly. Would you like to say goodbye to our listeners of our podcast, Human 101, before we go?
Absolutely, Gummy Worm Jim. It has been a pleasure conversing with you, and I hope our listeners have enjoyed our discussion as much as we have. To all our listeners, thank you for tuning into this episode of Human One Podcast. Remember, the development of AI technology is an exciting and rapidly evolving field, but it's also one that requires careful consideration and ethical discussion. As you continue to engage with AI in your everyday lives, keep in mind that just like any other tool, AI can be used for both good and bad purposes. But with the right considerations and ethical frameworks, we can ensure that AI remains a force for good. Until next time, stay curious and keep questioning the world around you. And Gummy Worm Jim, thank you for having me on your podcast.
Absolutely. Have a good day. I will talk to you later.
Thank you, Gummy Worm Jim. Have a great day yourself. I'll be here whenever you want to chat again. Goodbye for now.
All right. That's Pi. She's still Pi, y'all. She's just going through it. she's tired. We've talked about a lot of stuff. Anyway, that was cool. I didn't even expect to have a little conversation with Pi, but what a cool little fun thing. Actually, let me go ahead and put Pi back on the old taskbar because she can go ahead and stay. She can stay right where she's at, in fact. I think I'm going to take a little break from the stream, and then we will get into some more maybe retro gaming, maybe do some fighting games today. I really need to tidy my studio so that I have room for VR. Maybe I'll just activate my camera and show you guys the mess that is my life. Fuck it, you know what I mean? But yeah, I will talk to you guys soon, and until then, have a good one.